Hi everyone and welcome to Learn English with Sai. Today we're going to be talking about 20 of the top English idioms. So what exactly is an idiom? An idiom is a phrase that as a whole conveys the meaning of something. So the individual words in the phrase, you can't look them up in the dictionary to understand the phrase as a whole. You need to understand the entire thing and the meaning that it conveys. So let's dive straight in at number one. I'm going to be discussing the meaning of 20 of the most popular English idioms today. So let's dive in. A penny for your thoughts. Now this means tell me what you're thinking. So you can use this as a whole sentence if you're wondering what someone's thinking. It's often when someone's quiet and they look like they're thinking a lot and you're wondering what they're thinking about, you'd say a penny for your thoughts. And next we have break the ice. Break the ice means to make someone feel more comfortable, and we usually use this when first meeting a person. So for example, I asked her about herself to break the ice. He offered me some cake to break the ice. It broke the ice when she told a joke. And often people will talk about using icebreakers, which are like activities. Say if you start a class for the first time and you have a bunch of people in the same room who don't know each other, it's for people to introduce themselves and to feel comfortable. So if you hear the word icebreakers, that's what it means. Next we have hit the nail on the head. So this means to get something completely right. So for example, one person will say something that you agree about, and then you'll say, your reply will be, you hit the nail on the head. That just shows that you completely agree with whatever the person has said. And next we have every cloud has a silver lining. This means good things often come after bad things. People use this often to comfort other people if they've gone through a bad time. It's an idiom, a phrase of encouragement. It's a piece of cake. So this just simply means it's easy. So whenever you find something easy, you would say it's a piece of cake. Or for example, this game is a piece of cake, the exam was a piece of cake, or it was a piece of cake. This is one of my favorites, once in a blue moon. It means rarely. So it means something happening rarely. For example, once in a blue moon he shows up on time, for someone to describe someone who's always late. Or she only goes on holiday once in a blue moon, for someone who doesn't go on holiday a lot. Put it on ice. So this means to put something on hold. So to wait and not do something for now. So for example, we'll put the meeting on ice for now. That means they're going to delay it until a time in the future. They might cancel it, or they might just be delaying it to reschedule. Let's put it on ice and I'll get back to you. So again, put it on ice means it's like a hold. Let's hold something for now and wait. The ball's in your court. So this simply means it's your decision. So often we use this after giving options of something. So for example, if you have a manager and they need to choose between two different things two different options for a project, you could say to that, you could give them the two options, like we can do option B or option A, the ball is in your court. So it's just saying we have these options, now it's up to you to decide. the elephant in the room. I love this one too. This is a great one. So this means the biggest issue. So it's often the one that people are avoiding or that they can't see. So they might be avoiding talking about it, but it's the biggest issue. Throw caution to the wind. So this means to take a risk. So we use this with things like quitting your job. So for example, she decided to throw caution to the wind and quit her job. It means to take like a risk, often quite a big risk. Next we have, you can't have your cake and eat it too. So this means you can't have everything. So yeah, this is and I've made a spelling mistake on the can't. There should be an apostrophe there. Spot the spelling mistake. Right, next we have a blessing in disguise. So a blessing in disguise means something that seemed bad at first but turned out to be a good thing. So for example, you might lose your job and at first it seems like a disaster, it's a horrible thing, a horrible feeling, and you may feel sad or angry, upset, a whole range of bad feelings, and then you might get a new job which was even better than the last one, and you can look back and you can say it was a blessing in disguise that I lost my job, as I enjoy my new job much more than my old one. So it's used to describe something that seemed bad or seems bad at the moment but leads to something good. It's a blessing in disguise. We can also use that as a term of encouragement to say it might be a blessing in disguise that this bad thing happened. So it doesn't have to be looking back on what happened. It could be a hopeful looking forward of it might be a blessing in disguise. Next we have so far so good. So this simply means things are going well so far. So there are no hitches or anything. It's straightforward. And next, call it a day. This means to stop working. So it's let's stop working. Often this is used at the end of a work day or any other kind of situation where you decide you've been working and you decide like that's enough for today, let's stop for now. You can say that again. So that means that's very true, I agree with you. So someone will say something and it's a way of strongly agreeing with them. Wrap your head around something. So this means to understand something difficult and complex. So for example, I can't wrap my head around this, or it took a while to wrap my head around it, but once I did, I got it to work. So people often use this if they have some kind of problem to solve. So for example, they might have a project that they've been stuck in, they're trying to figure out a solution for, and they don't quite understand it because it's complex, and then all of a sudden they do, and they'll say, oh, eventually I've wrapped my head around it now, or it was hard to wrap my head around, but once I did, it worked out. Your guess is as good as mine. This means I don't know either. For example, do you know when Rachel is getting here? And then the other person would say, your guess is as good as mine if they don't know. Break a leg. So this simply means good luck. So people often say this before people are about to go do something big, like a performance, or it might be an interview, or it might be a date, or it might be, you know, it's a term of encouragement when people are doing something that's a little bit scary and that requires courage. So people say break a leg. Beat around the bush. This means avoiding saying the truth, often because it's uncomfortable. So for example, don't beat around the bush. He was beating around the bush, so I asked him to tell me straight. It's a little bit confrontational, this. Don't beat around the bush. I wouldn't recommend using it that often, but people do use it, so it's useful to understand what it means. Let the cat out of the bag. So this simply means to reveal a secret. It's a little bit of a strange way of saying it, but that's English. And that's the last idiom for today. So let's do the examples of this. Someone told them about the merger. The cat's out of the bag now. I told Michael about it by mistake. The cat's out of the bag, I'm sorry. And that's the end of our idioms. So there are quite a lot of idioms in the English language. Some are more common than others. The 20 that I've covered in today's lesson were some of the most common ones, the ones that I hear the most every day. So it's really good to have a general knowledge of the use of idioms, because like I said, you can't understand them without learning them as a whole phrase, a whole sentence. So that's that for today. You can follow me and contact me via email, Instagram or Facebook. So you can email learnenglishwithsi@gmail.com if you have any questions about this lesson or any of the other lessons that I'm giving, and I'll get back to you with answers. You can follow me on Instagram, where I post daily content, definitions, grammar, things like that. So come follow me, come say hi. You can also follow me on Facebook, which I use less than Instagram, but you can follow me if you like. So that's all for today. I hope you have a great day, everyone, and I'll see you next time on Learn English with Si.